Imagine living with someone for decades, raising children together, sharing a bed, eating dinner as a family every night, and having absolutely no idea that your husband is one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. That was the reality for Asa Ellerup. For over 27 years, she was married to Rex Heuermann, a successful architect in New York City. A big guy, 6'4", barrel-chested, kind of awkward but harmless. Or so everyone thought. Because while Rex was designing buildings in Manhattan by day, he was hunting sex workers on Long Island by night. And for 13 years, he got away with it. Until July 2023, when a single strand of pizza crust DNA brought his entire double life crashing down. This is the story of the Gilgo Beach Killer, a man who hid in plain sight for over a decade, and the cold case that finally caught him. December 2010. A police officer training his K-9 unit along Ocean Parkway on Long Island East Gilgo Beach stumbles upon something horrific: human remains wrapped in burlap. Within days, they find 3 more bodies, all women, all wrapped in burlap, all dumped along the same desolate stretch of beach. Then in 2011, they find 6 more bodies nearby, 10 victims total. Some had been there for years, some were still unidentified. The media dubbed the killer the Long Island serial killer or Gilgo Beach Killer. Investigators believed it was one person, someone who hunted sex workers, killed them, and disposed of their bodies like trash. But despite massive media attention, despite task forces and FBI involvement, the case went cold. For 13 years, the victims' families begged for answers. Why wasn't anyone arrested? Who killed these women? And most haunting of all, were there more bodies that hadn't been found yet? Then in March 2023, something changed. A new task force was formed. They had new technology, new DNA analysis, new phone records from 2010, and they had a name: Rex Heuermann. Rex Heuermann was, by all accounts, a boring guy. He grew up on Long Island, became an architect, started his own firm in Manhattan, RH Consultants and Associates. His specialty? Designing buildings in New York City. He'd worked on projects all over the city. He was married to Asa Ellerup. They had 2 kids, a son and a daughter. The family lived in Massapequa Park, Long Island, in a run-down house that looked like a hoarder's nightmare. Overgrown yard, peeling paint. Neighbors said the family kept to themselves. Rex was huge, 6'4", over 250 pounds. He had a booming voice. He was awkward in social situations, but he wasn't threatening. He was just weird, and absolutely no one suspected him. But here's what investigators discovered. Rex had a very specific pattern. He would wait until his wife and kids left town, usually to visit family in New Jersey or go on vacation. Then, within hours of them leaving, he would drive to areas known for sex work. He'd pick up a victim, kill her, and dispose of her body on Gilgo Beach. Then his family would come home, and he'd go back to being dad. So how did they finally catch him after 13 years? It started with burner phones. Back in 2010, investigators had recovered cell phone records showing that someone had contacted several of the victims before they disappeared. But the phones were burner phones, untraceable, paid in cash, no names attached. But in 2023, new technology allowed investigators to triangulate where those burner phones were used. And one location kept popping up, near Rex Heuermann's Manhattan office. Then they looked at his actual cell phone records, and they found something chilling. His phone pinged near the locations where the bodies were dumped, on the exact dates the women went missing. But they needed physical evidence, so they followed him, watched him, waited. In January 2023, Rex threw away a pizza box in a trash can in Manhattan. Investigators grabbed it. They swabbed the pizza crust for DNA. The DNA matched hair found on one of the victims, Megan Waterman. Then they got his wife and daughter's DNA from discarded items. That DNA also matched hair found on the burlap used to wrap the victims. The evidence was overwhelming. Rex had unknowingly transferred his family's DNA onto the victims through contact in his home or car. On July 13, 2023, Rex Heuermann was arrested outside his Manhattan office. He was charged with 3 murders: Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. He pleaded not guilty. When police searched Rex's home, they found a house of horrors. Guns, hundreds of them. Violent pornography. A soundproof room in the basement. Documents showing he'd been researching the Gilgo Beach investigation for years, reading news articles, following online forums, watching himself on TV. He was obsessed with his own case. But here's the most disturbing part. His wife and kids had no idea. Asa Ellerup filed for divorce within days of his arrest. She released a statement saying she was shocked and devastated. Neighbors said the family seemed normal, dysfunctional maybe, but not dangerous. How did Rex hide this for so long? Investigators believe he was meticulous. He only killed when his family was gone. He used burner phones. He paid sex workers in cash. He disposed of bodies in remote locations. He acted like a normal dad when his family was home. But there was one thing he couldn't control: DNA. And in 2023, DNA technology had advanced far enough to catch him. Prosecutors believe Rex Heuermann may be responsible for more murders. They're investigating other cold cases, other bodies, other missing women. The final body count may never be known. The Gilgo Beach Killer case is a reminder that monsters don't always look like monsters. They look like architects, like fathers, like boring, awkward guys you'd pass on the street and never think twice about. Rex Heuermann lived a double life for decades, and he might have kept living it except for a pizza crust, new DNA technology, and investigators who refused to give up. The victims Melissa, Megan, Amber, and Maureen deserve justice. Their families deserve answers. And the women who are still missing, still out there somewhere, deserve to be found. Rex Heuermann's trial is ongoing. But one thing is certain: the man who thought he was smart enough to get away with murder for 13 years was undone by the very thing that makes us human: our DNA.